If you're thinking about buying a home in Madison, Wisconsin, I'm willing to bet you've asked yourself at some point, should I just buy new construction or should I go with an existing home? It's a common question I get from my buyers, and it's a really good one because these are not the same experiences at all. The process is different, the trade-offs are different, and depending on your lifestyle, your budget, and your timeline, one is going to be significantly better for you than the other. So in this video, I am breaking down the real pros and cons of new construction versus resale homes here in the Madison area, with actual specific things that matter for this market, not just generic advice you'll find anywhere. And I'll also share the single biggest mistake I see buyers make with both options, because knowing this ahead of time can save you a lot of stress and money. I'm Dana. I'm a local realtor here in the Madison area, and I help people relocate and move around Dane County every single month. Full transparency before we dive in. My buyers right now are mostly purchasing resale homes, but I have also helped buyers buy new, including with Viridian last year, and those buyers are genuinely happy with their home. New construction made complete sense for them. We had looked at resale options in the beginning of their search, and nothing was really matching their criteria in the competitive market we were in. So I'm not making this video to push you one way or the other if it ends up sounding like that. I want to help you figure out which one actually makes sense for your situation. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into new construction first, because that's the bright, shiny, brand new route for buyers to take if they have the budget for it. I'm going to break down 5 pros on why to go new construction. One of the biggest draws to new construction is that you get to make design decisions. You're not walking into someone else's taste. You're building something that reflects yours from the beginning. Here in Madison, that often means working with builders like Viridian, Tim O'Brien Homes, Lennar, or some of the smaller semi-custom builders in the area. And depending on where you are in the building process, you might be choosing everything. The cabinets, countertops, flooring, fixtures, exterior colors, like all of it. Now, I want to be really clear about this. The model home you go check out for some of these builders is not a base price home. When you walk through a builder's model, you are walking through usually a fully upgraded version. Everything in there has been hand selected to make it look as beautiful as possible. So just know that when you're going in, the base price gets you a great home, but it may not look exactly like what you toured in the beginning. We'll talk more about that in this video when I get to the mistakes that buyers make. Pro number 2 is that new builds have a lot of energy efficiency, and this matters a lot in Wisconsin, okay? This one is actually huge, and I don't think buyers talk about it enough. Wisconsin winters are no joke. We're talking months of below freezing temperatures, heating systems running constantly, and utility bills that can genuinely shock you if you're not prepared. I know my 1970s home clearly is not energy tight because it gets so dry in here during the winter because my furnace is just running all the time. New construction homes are built to modern energy codes, and that means better insulation, high efficiency furnaces, newer windows with better seals, and sometimes even smarter thermostats or solar ready setups. I've seen buyers move into older Madison homes, or like my own experience of moving into one, and we have heating bills that can range from $300 to $500 a month in the winter. That actually is not rare. With a new construction home, that number can look dramatically different. So when you're comparing prices, factor in what your monthly operating costs might look like. Pro number 3, you've got lower maintenance and builder warranties. Everything in the house is new. The roof is new, the furnace is new, the water heater is new, the appliances are new. For the first few years of owning a new construction home, you're really not thinking much about repairs or replacements. And most builders back that up with warranties, typically 1-year workmanship warranty at a minimum, and sometimes extended structural warranties that go several years beyond that. For buyers who just don't want to deal with surprise repair bills in a year or two, and honestly, who does after you buy a house? Pro number 4, you've got modern layouts. This one comes down to lifestyle. If you love open concept living, big kitchen islands, flow between the kitchen and the living room, large primary suites with walk-in closets and spa-like bathrooms, new construction was basically designed for you. Older Madison homes are charming in a lot of ways, but they were often built in an era where rooms were more separated, kitchens were smaller, and primary bedrooms didn't prioritize closet space the way we expect them to today. If the way a home functions for you in your daily daily life matters to you, and it should, new builds often check more boxes. All right, last pro for new builds are builder incentives. And this is huge right now in this current market. Builders in the Madison area are offering some genuinely compelling incentives to attract buyers. We're talking things like interest rate buydowns, where the builder or their preferred lender actually subsidizes your mortgage rate to make your monthly payment lower. Closing cost credits, upgrade packages, and here's the thing, and this surprises buyers when I tell them, in some cases, because of these incentives, new construction can actually be more affordable on a monthly basis than a comparable resale home. The sticker price might be higher, but if you're getting a rate buy down that saves you hundreds of dollars a month, the math can actually work out differently than you'd expect. This is one of the reasons I like to tell buyers, don't rule out new construction based on price alone. Run the actual numbers. Okay, that was the exciting part, but let's be real about the new construction trade-offs because they are real. Con number 1, higher price per square foot. New construction costs more per square foot than resale in almost every case. You are paying a premium for the new, and that's just the reality. And unlike resale, where sometimes you can buy a home that needs some work and build some equity as the market appreciates or as you improve on the home, with new construction, you're typically buying at or near market top. There's less of an opportunity to find the deal the way you might with resale. Con number 2, location. This is a big one for Madison specifically. Most new construction development in the Madison area right now is happening in the suburbs. Places like Sun Prairie, Fitchburg, Verona, Cottage Grove, DeForest. These are fantastic communities with a lot of growth happening right now. But if your priority is being close to downtown Madison or near the UW campus, maybe walkable to the Terrace or State Street, or even a short drive to the lakes, you're probably not going to find much in new construction there. The land just isn't available in the same way. So if location and walkability are high on your list, new construction might come with a geographic trade-off that's worth thinking that through first. Con number 3 is the timeline. Quick move-in ready homes, which are sometimes called spec homes, this is where the builder has already started the construction. They might be ready in 2 to 4 months. So when you start your search, you can get in pretty quickly. But if you're building from scratch, choosing your lot and all your finishes, you're often looking at 6 to 12 months, sometimes even longer. And delays do happen. Weather delays, material delays, labor delays. If you have a hard deadline, like a lease ending or a job starting, you need to plan for buffers. I've seen closings pushed back anywhere from 60 to 90 days, and it can feel stressful if you're not prepared. Con number 4, no character. The craftsmanship isn't what it used to be. Here's something I hear from buyers constantly, and honestly, it's the number one reason a lot of my buyers end up choosing resale over new construction. New construction neighborhoods can feel samey. The exteriors look alike, the floor plans are nearly identical, and the inside, the finishes, while they're nice, are often the same options every other buyer on the street picked from the same design palette. And one of the things I hear most from buyers, and these are very young buyers who've toured both new builds and resale homes, is that the quality of craftsmanship just feels different in older homes. The solid hardwood floors, the detailed trim work, the woodwork that somebody actually took time on. A lot of the production builders today are building fast and building to a price point, and buyers can feel the difference when they walk through. If you've ever fallen in love with a covered front porch or built-in bookshelves or a fireplace with real character, new construction is usually not going to give you that feeling. All right, last con is limited price negotiation. Builders typically won't negotiate much on the base price of the home. What they will negotiate on is the incentive package, the rate buy down, the upgrade credits, the closing cost contributions. This is actually where having a good buyer's agent matters a lot, because navigating builder contracts and knowing where there's flexibility is a skill. Builder contracts are also written to protect the builder, not you. So understanding what you're signing, and where I help is setting your expectations before you sign, really matters. Before we jump into resale homes, if new construction is something you're genuinely considering in the Madison area, I actually put together a step-by-step guide that walks you through the whole process, and highlights the specific things to watch out for. It's free, it's linked below, and it'll give you a really solid foundation before you ever walk into a builder's sales office. Because walking in unprepared is exactly how buyers end up overpaying or getting caught off guard. Go grab it below. Okay, let's talk resale. First, let's dive into the pros of resale. And I'll be honest, this is where I spend most of my time with my buyers, and for a good reason. So let's talk about why. Pro number one is location. The new construction simply can't touch this. This is a big one. And for a lot of my buyers, this alone is the deciding factor. The neighborhoods people fall in love with in Madison are neighborhoods like Nakoma, Vilas, Willie Street, anywhere on the Near East Side, homes within walking distance of the lakes. Those are resale homes. That land is gone. Nobody's building new construction there unless it's a tear down and a new one goes in. You cannot buy your way into those neighborhoods with a new build. So if location is at the top of your list, and for a lot of people moving to Madison, it absolutely is, resale opens doors that new construction literally can't. Pro number two is character, charm, and a home that actually has a story. I've had buyers walk into a 1970s ranch or a mid-century craftsman and just feel it immediately. The original hardwood floors, the beautiful front porch, the built-ins, the fireplace that's the actual focal point of the room. These are details that production buyers today cannot replicate at scale. And buyers know it the second they walk in. There's a warmth and a soul to older Madison homes that is really hard to put into words, but you feel it. And once you feel it, it's hard to go back to looking at new construction. Pro number three, more space and a neighborhood that already feels like home. Resale homes, especially those built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, often sit on significantly more land than new construction. They have bigger yards, more privacy between neighbors, and room to actually breathe. If you want a backyard that feels like a backyard and not just a narrow strip of grass 3 feet from your neighbor's window, resale wins that comparison pretty much every time. And then there's the established neighborhood itself. There is something about pulling into a street with 40-year-old oak trees, kids playing outside, neighbors who have lived there for so many years. It just feels settled. It feels like a community. With resale, you're walking into something that already has that energy. New construction does get there eventually, but it takes some years. Pro number four, resale is a more affordable entry point. Generally speaking, resale homes give you more square footage and more land for your dollar compared to new construction homes in the Madison market right now. And in some cases, you're buying into a neighborhood that has already appreciated significantly over decades, which is a very different position than buying into a brand new subdivision that is still being built out and hasn't really established its long-term value yet. There's also real opportunity with resale to find a home that needs some cosmetic love and build equity through improvements and the market appreciation. That upside is much harder to find with new construction. Last pro, it is a simpler, more flexible transaction. Individual sellers are more motivated and flexible than builders are. There's often room to negotiate on price, on closing costs, on repairs after the inspection, or even inclusions like appliances and window treatments, whatever makes sense for that transaction. You're having a conversation with a real person, not navigating a contract written by a corporate legal team. And the timeline is just more predictable. In most cases, you're looking at a standard 30 to 45 day closing once your offer is accepted. No waiting on foundations or material delays. For buyers with a specific move-in window, resale is almost always the easier path. But let's talk about the downsides of resale so you are well informed. Con number one is the deferred maintenance and surprises that come with buying older homes. Older homes come with older systems, and sometimes these systems are fine, and sometimes you're a few years away from a furnace replacement, a new roof, or an aging water heater. This is why a thorough home inspection is non-negotiable when it comes to resale homes. And even a great inspection won't catch everything. Budgeting for some maintenance in the first few years is just the reality of buying a lived-in home. Con number two is the home is less energy efficient. We talked about this one on the new construction side, and the flip side is just as true. Older homes, especially those built before modern energy codes, can have significantly higher utility costs. They have older windows, original insulation, aging HVAC systems. It just adds up, especially in the Wisconsin winter. So before falling in love with a resale home, it's worth asking about the average utility costs. We can get that information from the seller. Oftentimes we can also look that up on Madison Gas and Electric for their average costs that they have logged throughout the past couple years. Con number 3, you're getting someone else's choices until you renovate, which does cost money and time. You're living with the decisions the previous owners made. And sometimes we walk through homes and go, why did they choose that color? The paint colors, the carpet, the kitchen that was last updated in 2004. Some buyers are totally fine with that. Others find it incredibly frustrating. You just need to understand which type of buyer you are. Con number 4 is these homes can be competitive in desirable neighborhoods. In popular Madison neighborhoods, good resale homes can still move fast and attract multiple offers, especially in the spring market. When you are buying, you may need to be very decisive in the moment and very competitive. So I promised you the biggest mistakes I see buyers make with each of these options, and here they are. Biggest new construction mistake is falling in love with the model. Buyers walk into a gorgeous model home, they fall in love with the quartz countertops and the custom lighting and the upgraded flooring, and they sign a contract at the base price, assuming it'll look exactly like that. Then they get into the design center and realize that every single thing they loved costs extra. And before they knew it, they've added $40,000 to $80,000 in upgrades and they're over budget. The fix for that? Know your total budget before you ever walk into a model. Ask the sales rep what's included at the base price specifically, and work with a buyer's agent like myself. Reach out to me first before you decide to go look at all the new construction so that I can help you prioritize which upgrades actually add long-term value for resale. Okay, biggest resale mistake is skimping on the inspection. I get it. We're in a bit of a bubble here in Madison, and in the competitive market, sometimes buyers feel like, and sometimes they do need to, waive inspection in order to make their offer look more attractive. I get it. It's logical. I oftentimes suggest first, let's try an inspection buffer. So you're putting in a little buffer to say, look, anything under $2,500 in defects, we're not going to come after you for. We really just want to do this inspection for peace of mind and to know that if anything comes in, higher than that $2,500, that we're going to need to negotiate some credits or ask you to fix some things. Because look, I am here to represent your best interests, and especially in older Madison homes, there are risks that can cost you significantly. And that's why I love doing more of an inspection buffer, so that we are at least protecting you if there are any really incredible unknown repair issues that we need to be aware of. So please talk to your agent or myself if you're working with me before you make that call. In summary, here's the bottom line. New construction is a great fit if you want a low maintenance home with modern finishes and energy efficiency. You're flexible on location and you're not in a huge rush. And I'll just add in there so you feel seen. Also, if you have the budget for it. Resale, on the other hand, is a great fit if location is top priority, if you love the character of established Madison neighborhoods, and you want a faster or more flexible buying process. And honestly, the best choice depends entirely on your situation, your timeline, your priorities, and your budget. There is no universal right answer here. If you're in the process of figuring this out for your own move to or around Madison, I genuinely love to help you out. So reach out to me. My contact info is in the description below. And I do free consultations where we can just talk through what makes the most sense for you. Also, if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe. It helps more buyers find this kind of content. And if you're planning to move to the Madison area, download my Moving to Madison guide. I talk about the local market, specific neighborhoods, and what it's actually like to live here all the time. I'm so excited for you and your possible future move, whether that is to Madison or out of Madison. Please let me know down in the comments what your plan is. I am on here talking about the market, specific neighborhoods, and what it's actually like to live here every week. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.